070 Shake, who dropped You Can't Kill Me, her second album, following up Modus Vivendi from 2020, an album that we both really liked and were impressed
Mm.
by. I think it felt like Shake is so singular, obviously comes on the scene off of those recordings in Wyoming. Uh,
Mhm. Ghost
uh,
Town.
yeah, Ghost Town. Her vocals in that are so haunting and just really steal the show. And you got a couple of, I think, really memorable tracks off Moses Vivendi. So I think the question becomes, "You Can't Kill Me." Does this keep that upward propulsion for Shake, or did this feel a bit like a step back for you?
I definitely didn't like it as much as Modus Vivendi. That's for darn sure. I just didn't find this one nearly as interesting. It's not for a
Mm.
lack of trying. I think Shake's performance and what she does to her voice with autotune and variations of production, that's all still here, but I just don't know if the songs themselves really came together in the same way as they did in Modus Vivendi. Like Modus Vivendi with Guilty Conscience and The Pines, there was some catchy stuff on there that was still reminiscent of Ghost Town, but just made you want to listen to it again. I don't know if I don't think I really loved any songs on here. There's some songs that are good and interesting, but uh, just wasn't really what I was looking for, which is a bit disappointing because again, I love the first album so much.
Yeah, I think I had a similar takeaway. Although I think there is like a nice stretch in the middle of some really memorable songs. Especially "Skin and Bones" is probably the standout track to me. The hook on that is so catchy, and this is pretty much all Shake. She only really has one credited guest on this, Christine
Mhm.
and the Queens, on another song that I thought was pretty good. At least the production on it was really interesting, and I thought probably a track I want to go back and listen to a few more times. Body, but yeah, it's interesting because I think about how high a song like Guilty Conscience just feels like it soars, and it just feels like it like takes you into this like new space, and this just felt very much kind of like down the middle in terms of energy, and I just did not expect to get that from a Shake album, and so I similarly was left feeling a little bit disappointed, but overall I still think there's a few songs that are worthy of acknowledging. Did any stand out to you?
I'm with you on Skin and Bones, which I believe is one of the singles, first few
Yeah.
singles. That the way that song builds in
Hmm.
general and her performance builds on top of it, really, really cool. Uh, I mean, yeah. Then there's some like I just have like some notes like "Come Back Home." The synths on that I felt were really nice, and also particularly like the use of autotune as heavily as it's used on that one from Shake. I think really works. She's an artist that uses autotune and voice modulation very consistently, but also at different levels. So it is a bit noticeable when it's like super autotune heavy, almost like Daft Punk reminiscent or something.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then Vibrations is one where it's like I don't know if the her lyrics were necessarily wowing me, but there's just some like wild synth production on on that song. So it's at least interesting to listen to. And it turns out this whole album was mixed and mastered by Mike Dean, who was
Hmm.
a good music release at the end of the day.
Yeah. I agree. I think you highlighted a couple. On Come Back Home, that like piano start, and then the like dun 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 dun, the like strings that come in there. It feels almost like James Bond, like like she was going for her James Bond uh, theme song type move here. But yeah, then those synths come in. It's like a really interesting move and really switches the song up. I think that my favorite run of songs in the middle is probably from Skin and Bones through Cocoon. um, Blue Velvet has like a really interesting like drum beat to it. It almost kind of reminds me of LCD Sound System. The I'm forgetting the name of the track at the moment. I'm gonna look it up, but from their most recent album, American Dream, where it's just like the whole first like 3 minutes of the song are just the drums kind of like tuned out, and it really just kind of steals it. How do you sleep? was the name of the track. So that one really stood out to me. And then Cocoon, I thought was another highlight from the album. But overall, I mean, that like stretch in the middle was nice, but everything in the beginning, like Web and Invited and History, I guess History wasn't too bad. I think there's a good vocal performance from Shake there, but it just didn't catch me the same way.
Mhm.
And it really, just kind of makes me wonder if Shake is going to kind of continue to explore this realm. If she feels like such a wild card, like it's hard to like pinpoint what's next for her. But I just don't. I think I want something a little bit more like upbeat from her. I'm not sure exactly how to frame exactly what I'm looking for, but um, still very talented. And apparently she's partners with Kalani, which I was not aware of. So
Seems to be a new development, but good for them. I support their relationship and their love.
I would love to hear them do a song together. I would fully support that. So, and I also support their relationship. They seem like a cool celebrity duo. So we're gonna add a track from Shake to our Nostalgia Best